The Lexus RZ is one of the least impressive EVs currently on the United States market, and not because it's a bad car. If you're driving it and you're not concerned about range or charging, then it's going to make you happy. But with incredibly slow charging, about 200 miles range, you're asking a lot for these people to give up when they're dropping $60,000 on a luxury vehicle. But new trademarks are coming out. CarBuzz has stumbled upon 3 new trademarks for the RZ. We have a 300E, or sorry, we do have a 300E. That is actually coming this year as a front-wheel drive model with 266 miles of range. We have the new, potentially new RZ 350E. It's awfully close to the 300E. We have an RZ 500E. The most recent 500 we see in the Lexus lineup is the RX 500 HF Sport Performance. And then we have an RZ 550E. What could this mean for the Lexus RZ as we know it? Today, I'm going to do my best to figure this out. Let's not stop in the United States. Over at Drive, an Australian website, they have trademarks for 500E and 550E. If we look at the trademarks recently in Japan, we don't actually, as far as I'm aware, we don't see the RZ in that high of numbers, but we have this new model here called the HZ450E, but there's also an HZ550E as well as an HZ300E. But there's also a 3-row Lexus EV coming out called the TZ550E. And I know there's a TZ, there's the 450E as well. So we're going to bring out the spreadsheet and I'm going to weigh in on what could be happening. All right. Before I get too far down the rabbit hole on these potential motor configurations, you have to keep in mind trademarks happen to protect potential names. All right. So just because Lexus is saying, okay, well, we have 5 different trademarks for the RZ, doesn't mean they're going to use all of them. They're probably just going to use a few of them. And the same thing for the BZ lineup. Lexus and Toyota specifically, they have so many BZ things trademarked. There's no way all of these BZ things are going to exist. BZ5C, BZ4C, BZ3C, like it's not going to happen. So with that in mind, let's take a look at what's going on. Well, I actually had a spreadsheet already on the 3-row crossovers that will be built here in North America. And it's possible that the RZ could be built here in North America at some point in time as well, potentially at the Indiana plant, but maybe it's the new IS. I just hear new Lexus electric vehicles could be coming online in Indiana in the next year or two. So could be the RZ and maybe these new variants. So let's talk about the RZ. Is it possible that we could have up to 5 different? And I already kind of dispelled that. However, the RX has 4 different powertrains. However, they all provide a completely different experience. You have a turbo, you have a hybrid, you have a plug-in hybrid, and then you have a turbo hybrid. And they all give you different flavors, different conveniences, as well as different levels of performance. So with an electric vehicle, having that sort of segmentation absolutely makes no sense. If we look at like Tesla, you have, standard range, rear wheel drive, you have dual motor long range, and then you have like the high performance models. Why would Lexus have 5 different segmentations of just one product as an electric vehicle? It makes no sense. But now we have 2. So these are the 2 on the market right now. Well, should I say the RZ is in 2024. And these are official numbers that I have been communicated with, well, maybe not the charge rate. The charge rate might be slightly different, but I highly doubt it. The battery pack's a little bit bigger than it is on the RZ 450E. This is the estimated EPA range. And my guess is it's going to start about maybe $5,000 less than the RZ 450E. Not a big difference, right? Because here's the thing. The RZ 450E starts at $60K, but the BZ4X tops out, I think, around the low 50s. So this can't be much more expensive than the BZ4X. And that is BZ4X dual motor. Same sort of power, though, about 200 horsepower. But so these 2 are as good as gospel. They are on sale, if not now in the near future for the front-wheel drive model. The 350E makes no sense to me unless they somehow modify the 300 that just came out and give it a slightly increased power number. Now, some people are considering that these increased numbers could be increased range or bigger batteries. That's not how Lexus rolls. Their numbers, at least now, and in the past, they've always correlated either with engine displacement or performance. Okay, now it has nothing to do with engine displacement as we got into hybrids and now electrified and also turbos. I made a video on this like eons ago. The one that makes the most sense, I'm not considering the 500e as being real. Is it possible in some alternate universe? Yes. But when we have 3 other trademarks from the TZ550E as well as the HZ550E, I think Lexus is very serious about bringing in a dual motor with 150 kilowatts to power the front and the rear. So a total of 300 kilowatts, which reaches 402 horsepower. 0 to 60 is going to be about 4 seconds on it. And could they put in a larger battery pack? I guess so. But the thing is, with the eTNGA platform, it is pretty limited on what kind of battery sizes they can fit in there. So yes, battery technology does improve and packaging improves, and they could put larger batteries in the RZ, but don't think it's ever going to get much past the low 70s. This 80s is a pipe dream, in my opinion, to get that much battery capacity. And if it does, we could be seeing some good range numbers. If we see an 80 kilowatt battery on a 300, then we're going to see 300 miles of range. But on a high performance models, of course, we wouldn't see that much range. And if the thing is, the 550e RZ comes out with this 71 kilowatt hour battery or the 72 kilowatt hour battery, the range is going to be like 180 miles. It's going to be abysmal. But this is wishful thinking here. And are these models going to come out? I actually have no idea if Lexus is going to double down with the RZ. It's been pretty much a flop for them. The RZ has been not extremely well received for an electric car. Like I said, it's a great car if you never leave your city area or your town or your general driving distance. This is an absolute fail as a road trip car because it charges so slow. It's also an absolute fail for just overall range. If you're just driving in and around town, it's probably not going to be that big of a deal for you, assuming you can charge at home. If you are buying a $60,000 to $70,000 Lexus, I'm assuming you own your own home. But yeah, 4 in my area, guys, with hardly any miles on them. They are being out there on the market. Now, there's a possibility that the RZ was not even purchased by a customer. It was purchased by the dealer, and they drove it because they needed to get it off the lot because it was sitting there. That's a possibility as well. So some of them could be purchased by dealers and then just sold as a used car immediately. But look at this price drop, $5,000 price drop. I saw one recently that was about $49,000 as well. So we have quite a few in just my general area in Florida on the used market. And on the new market, the RZ, are we seeing price drops here? Not really. Most of them look like they are at MSRP. Okay, here's a small price drop, but not major. But the thing is, if you can get one for $50,000 with about 1,000 miles on it, why would you buy a new one? Unless the incentives are insane and you can get like a huge lease. And that's the thing. Lexus has massive lease cash on most RZs in most areas in the United States. It's not really December to remember for the RZ. Speaking of incentives, looking it up real quick, 2.5% up to 48 months. Why would you do that when you can get $15,000 lease cash expiring on the 2nd of January? You also have, well, if you're a college grad, you're not buying an RZ. If you're current military, I don't know why you buy an RZ either, but those are additional rebates you can get. So $15,000 lease cash, and that is on all trim levels of the RZ. That's why you would buy a new one over a used one, is you lease it and get an insanely low monthly payment. But then you're stuck with an electric car, and then you can't take it on road trips because its range and charging is so slow. Are these trademarks going to save the RZ? And the answer is, in my opinion, absolutely not. I think the RZ 300 is the most logical because it addresses one of the elephants in the room, and that is somewhat the range. Not entirely, right? Because it's not really all that much range, 266 miles, and it's still going to cost you over $50,000. So here's the thing. The RZ as much as I get excited about any Lexus news, it's hard for me to get excited about this car until they come out with newer battery technology, until they come out with maybe using silicon carbide inverters and electronics in these vehicles. They're starting to do it with the RZ 300e. But the RZ being so limited, it doesn't matter, because Lexus is selling at a high clip right now. They have a huge backlog, especially on their hybrids, as well as the TX that just came out, the TX. I haven't driven it yet. Can't wait to drive it. No one's asking for the RZ. It seems like everyone wants an RX, NX, TX, or a next gen IS would be awesome as well, since the current one, even though it looks great, it's pretty outdated. Other than that, right, LS, rest in peace. LX is, whatever. Everyone wants the GX as well. So GX is going to crush it for Lexus. And that doesn't even have a hybrid at launch. So, yep. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. I'm pretty much marking the RZ as 6 feet under, even though these new trademarks kind of give us some excitement. I'm not going to get my hopes up. Have a great day and peace.